I unexpectedly obtained the 12 talismans of the Holy Lord. But this damn system only lets me pick one to use for now. System, the rest must be unlocked by earning reputation points. I have to earn reputation points to unlock the others. I thought long and hard about it. In the end, I chose the horse talisman. Initially, I thought about using its power to cure all diseases and becoming a miracle doctor in the modern city. But the more I mulled it over, the more it felt wrong. After all, exposing superpowers in modern society is not that just asking for trouble. Luckily, the system was generous enough to give me a portal to the ancient world. A bold idea suddenly popped into my head. Why not pose as an immortal in ancient times? I can use these superpowers to farm some reputation. No sooner said than done. I immediately bought a set of ancient robes and various props. Once everything was ready, I stepped into the portal. A moment later, I appeared deep in the ancient mountains. Standing atop the mountain peak, I took out my binoculars to scout the surroundings. I spotted a village not far away. However, I do not plan on just walking down there to show off to the villagers. That would be way too low budget. I have to make them come and seek this immortal out themselves. I have already planned it all out. First, use the gear I brought to make the area look all misty and divine. Then, pull out the spotlights and hit the switch. Instantly, a dazzling beam of light shot from the peak straight into the clouds. Meanwhile, down in Yunshi village, village chief Lida was frowning with worry. This was originally a peaceful and harmonious little village. But 10 days ago, a sudden plague shattered the tranquility. Village chief, you are the most learned man in our village. Please find a way to save my daughter, Xiaohe. As the hunter Chen Shan begged piteously, Xiaohe lay curled up nearby, her face deathly pale, and her forehead drenched in cold sweat. Sigh, there is no cure for this plague. Lida let out a heavy sigh. Perhaps only a divine manifestation can offer a glimmer of hope. Just then, a brilliant light suddenly erupted from the distant mountains. Chen Shan was instantly stunned by this phenomenon. Village chief, quick look, what is that? Lida also looked up, his eyes flickering with astonishment. Could it be? An immortal has truly manifested. Come. Let us go and see. The other villagers were also alerted by the phenomenon and came pouring out of their houses. Quickly, let us go up the mountain and beg the immortal to save us. Supporting one another, everyone began the arduous trek toward the mountain peak. At that moment, Lida suddenly shouted, "Everyone, do not be reckless. That light source is at least 7 or 8 miles from here. How can you get there in your weakened, half-dead states? Besides, the wild beasts come out at night. It is far too dangerous. It is better to wait for dawn when it is safer." The villagers all showed expressions of hesitation, but Chen Shan suddenly stepped forward firmly. "Village chief, what if the immortal is gone by morning? The sick in our village cannot afford to wait. Why do not I go ahead and scout the way first? I am a hunter. I know these mountain paths well." Worry flashed through Lida's eyes, but in the end, he nodded. Chen Shan, be extremely careful. Rest assured, village chief, I will definitely bring the immortal to save our village. Finishing his sentence, he turned around and grabbed his hunting knife and a torch. He strode off toward the mountain peak. Meanwhile, through my binoculars, I watched every move the villagers made at the foot of the mountain. I could not hide the smirk creeping onto my face. Here they come. I found a flat rock and sat down cross-legged. I struck a pose, trying to look like a divine, transcendent immortal. On the other side, Chen Shan reached the foot of the mountain, panting heavily with torch in hand. But just then, a high-pitched savage howl pierced the air. Over a dozen wild wolves suddenly lunged out from the forest. Chen Shan gripped his hunting knife tightly. He was scared to death, but the thought of his gravely ill daughter instantly ignited a fierce will to survive. "Xiao, he is still waiting for me. I can't die here." Meanwhile, as I sat there meditating, I was starting to get impatient. What is taking so long? Did the villagers miss the divine signs on the mountain? Or did something hold them up? Feeling uneasy, I grew a bit anxious. I took out my drone and flew it down toward the base of the mountain. Watching the screen, I quickly realized something was wrong. Not far from the foot of the mountain, a sturdy man was cornered by a wolf pack. He was desperately struggling for his life. Crap, it is that villager coming up the mountain. My heart skipped a beat. I can't let anything happen to him. Otherwise, my whole plan is toast. At the same time, Chen Shan's torch had already gone out. He gripped his knife, feeling both terrified and hopeless. "Xiaohe, father has failed you." Just as he prepared for a final, desperate stand, a deafening boom suddenly shattered the night silence. The Wolf King's head exploded in an instant. The rest of the pack was terrified. They scrambled backward in fear. This is the magic of an immortal. Chen Shan's eyes widened in shock. Then he saw a man in a long robe approaching. He held a strange-looking magical artifact in his hand. "Vile beasts, be gone at once." Though the wolves were shaken, they did not fully retreat just yet. They seemed to be hesitating, deciding whether to attack again. Seeing this, I did not hesitate. I raised the magical artifact once more. Another thunderous bang followed. Another wolf dropped dead on the spot. This time, the pack was utterly petrified. They scattered and fled in all directions. Looking at Chen Shan's look of utter disbelief, I decided to strike while the iron was hot. I asked in a detached, ethereal tone, "Mortal, what brings you to this mountain in the dead of night?" "Immortal." Chen Shan tried to answer, but a wave of dizziness washed over him. He collapsed straight onto the ground. "Very well, I shall tend to your wounds first." I raised my hand. The faint shimmer of the horse talisman flashed in my eyes. A purple divine light emanated from my fingertips, falling gently upon his body. Chen Shan felt a warm power surging through him. The claw wounds from the wolves healed instantly. Even the symptoms of the plague vanished without a trace. This is the divine power of an immortal. Thank you for saving my life. Chen Shan will spend the rest of my days serving you to repay this debt. Haha, it is a success. Now he will definitely see me as a true immortal. I chuckle inwardly, but keep a stoic, indifferent expression on my face. Chen Shan kneels again and says, "I am a villager from Yunxi village at the foot of the mountain. A plague has struck our village, and many have already perished. I beg you, great immortal, please save our village." I deliberately furrow my brow slightly. An immortal does not lightly interfere with the affairs of the mortal realm. Life and death are governed by destiny. Great immortal, I know your divine powers are boundless. I beg you, for the sake of our innocent villagers, please save us. I take an immortal pill out from my robe. This was refined by my own divine power, containing the essence of heaven and earth. It can cure 100 ailments. Dissolve it in water, and distribute it to all the villagers to drink. The plague shall then be dispelled. Chen Shan takes it with trembling hands. Great immortal, I will do exactly as you say. I would not dare be negligent. Just as he prepares to head down the mountain, I suddenly speak up. "Wait. Great immortal, do you have further instructions?" I was so busy playing the god, I almost forgot to gather intel on this world. Thinking of this, I ask in a distant tone, "Mortal, I have lived in these deep mountains for a long time, unconcerned with worldly matters. Tell me, which dynasty rules this era, and who is the current emperor?" Chen Shan is taken aback, scratching his head. "Great immortal, I am but a simple woodsman. I know nothing of the imperial court's affairs. I only know that the world currently belongs to the Li family. Surname Li. Seems like it is indeed the Tang dynasty. But as for which specific emperor, I will have to investigate further." Keeping a poker face, I nod slightly. "Never mind. I was merely asking in passing. Our village chief is a learned man. He will surely know. How about I bring him up here immediately after I head down, so he may pay his respects to you?" Chen Shan nods frantically, then suddenly remembers something. "Oh, great immortal, after I go down, I wish to build a shrine in your honor, to offer prayers day and night in gratitude for saving our lives. Might I ask for your divine title?" My heart skips a beat. Since I need to establish authority in this world, I definitely need a cool, resounding name. Since the power of the 12 talismans comes from Shendu, one of the 8 demons, I might as well call myself the Holy Lord. With that thought, I narrow my eyes slightly. "I am the Holy Lord. Lin Chu, go now. Waste no more time." Chen Shan quickly gets up, carefully cradling the immortal pill as he dashes down the mountain. Watching his receding figure, the corner of my mouth curls up. Mission accomplished. That pill was a special blend of antibiotics and the horse talisman's power. The results will be flawless. This way, my image as an immortal in this ancient world will be set in stone. Yunxi village, at the foot of the mountain. The villagers were waiting anxiously. Just then, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed from the distance. Chen Shan's figure gradually emerged from the darkness. "I have seen an immortal. This is an elixir gifted by the immortal. He said to dissolve it in water and share it with the whole village. It will drive away the plague." Lida stepped forward. He asked in a low voice, "Chen Shan, are you certain it was truly an immortal, and not some spirit from the mountains?" "Village chief, I saw it with my own eyes. The immortal's power is boundless." With a mere wave of his hand, he wiped out the wolf pack. He even healed my wounds and the plague. Li De carefully inspected him. He found that the symptoms of the plague on his body had vanished without a trace. I have never heard of any medicine that could cure the plague. Could it be that an immortal truly exists? Since the immortal has given a command, we shall obey. With that, he brought a large basin of water. He placed the elixir inside. "Everyone, form a line. 1 bowl per person. Do not take more of the holy water than you are given." The villagers all nodded. They stepped forward in turn to receive the holy water. After drinking, everyone felt a warm current surge through their bodies. The heavy burden of their illness instantly lightened. This holy water is truly miraculous. 2 hours later, the plague symptoms on everyone had completely disappeared. The oppressive atmosphere in the village was swept away. In its place was a scene of jubilation and joy. Chen Shan, what is the immortal's name? We must know his name to properly thank and worship him. He calls himself the Holy Lord. His name is Lin Chu. Chen Shan suddenly remembered something. Oh, right. The immortal also instructed me to have the village chief go up the mountain to see him. Li De nodded. Very well. Since it is the immortal's command, I shall naturally go up the mountain to pay my respects in person. Time flew by and soon it was the next day. After waking up, I habitually opened the system panel. However, when I saw the data on it, I could not help but freeze. Host Lin Chu. Ability, Horse Talisman. Progress to next talisman acquisition, 100%. The progress bar is full. That is not right. Yunshi village does not have that many people. My reputation points should still be a long way off. Thinking of this, I could not help but ask in my mind. System, what is going on here? Host. The reputation points provided by each person are not fixed. It is comprehensively judged based on their level of faith, the intensity of their emotions, and the impact of the event. Seeing this, it all clicked. No wonder my reputation shot up so fast. The people of Yunshi village had experienced the despair of the plague, and then I saved their lives with an elixir and divine power. Naturally, I left a deep impression on them. Next up, I need an ability that better fits my immortal persona, something to further solidify my authority. Recalling the list of talisman powers, an answer gradually formed in my mind. System, I choose the chicken talisman. Ding. Congratulations, host, for obtaining the chicken talisman. Ability, levitation. The next second, I felt a surge of energy course through my body. I tried to control my body with my mind. My feet slowly lifted off the ground. My whole body was levitating in the air. So this is what it feels like to fly. I was ecstatic. Like a child, I zipped through the mountains, enjoying the thrill of flying freely. I only returned to the mountaintop when I was exhausted. Now that I have gotten the hang of flying, it is time to test the other abilities of the chicken talisman. First, let us test the range of its power. I locked my gaze on a giant boulder on another mountain peak. The distance was at least a dozen kilometers. Let us see if I can control that rock first. With that thought, I focused my mind, using my will to control that giant boulder. A moment later, the giant boulder slowly rose, levitating in mid-air. It seems the chicken talisman's range is even greater than I imagined. Next up, speed. I controlled the giant boulder to fly towards me, but its speed was painfully slow, probably only around 20 or 30 kilometers per hour. Seeing this, I already had my conclusion. The chicken talisman's power is immense, but it has its limitations. Wide range, strong force, but limited speed. Still, it is more than enough, at least for this ancient era with no supernatural powers. It is a complete curb stomp. Just then, a commotion suddenly came from the foot of the mountain. I saw that Chen Shan from last night, leading an old man up the mountain. That old man must be the village chief. At that thought, I immediately levitated into the air, awaiting their arrival. When Chen Shan and Li De reached the summit, they were instantly stunned. This truly is an immortal. Holy Lord! This humble one, Chen Shan, has brought the village chief to pay his respects. There is no need for such formalities. I opened my eyes and glanced at Li De. I ask you, what dynasty is it now? And what place is this? In response to the immortal, it is now the 15th year of the Kaiyuan era of the Great Tang dynasty. This is the territory of Jingqiao Prefecture. It is actually the prosperous Tang. This is a glorious era. I recalled the history of the Tang dynasty. The 15th year of Kaiyuan. That would be during the reign of Emperor Xuanzong, the peak of the Kaiyuan flourishing age. After a moment of contemplation, I continued to speak. The last time I walked the mortal realm, the emperor's surname was Lu, and the dynasty was called Han. Do you know how long it has been since then? Li De was utterly shocked. The immortal before him had actually lived for so long. In response to the immortal, the Han dynasty was over 1,000 years ago. I let out a deliberate sigh. Sigh, the world has changed so much. Blue seas have turned into mulberry fields. I never thought my return to the mortal world would be 1,000 years later. Immortal, is there a particular reason for your return to the mortal world this time? I am merely following the will of heaven, to wander the world once more. Holy Lord, if you have no urgent matters, why not be a guest in our village? Li De also chimed in. Indeed, O immortal one, yesterday you saved the lives of all our villagers. Please allow us the opportunity to show our hospitality. I wanted to repay the immortal's great kindness, but my first instinct was to decline. However, once I remembered that I possess the power of the chicken talisman, I realized I am practically invincible in this ancient world. There is no need to be as cautious as I was before. So, I decided to accept the invitation. I will head to Yunshi village to experience some ancient local customs. Initially, I thought about refusing, but experiencing the vibes of Yunshi village seemed like a plan. Besides, I can use this chance to boost my reputation and go viral. It is a perfect opportunity to expand my influence. Very well, since you are so sincere, I shall accompany you for a visit. As I spoke, I gave my fingers a slight flick. The divine power of the chicken talisman was released instantly. Li Da and Chen Shan suddenly felt their bodies become weightless. Their entire beings were suspended in mid-air. What is happening? Immortal One, We are actually flying. Do not be alarmed. I am merely using my divine power to lift you up, to spare you the exhaustion of a long trek. 10 minutes later, at the foot of the mountain, Yunshi village, a child suddenly pointed at the sky and cried out in shock. Look everyone, fast. There are 3 giant birds in the sky. Everyone looked up at the horizon. They saw 3 black dots slowly flying toward the village. Good heavens, it is Chen Shan and the village chief. Are they actually flying? As the 3 of them slowly descended onto the open ground, the villagers stood there, completely jaw-dropped. The immortal. Lita saw the crowd whispering and buzzing, fearing that someone might offend the immortal with improper words. He immediately stepped forward and announced loudly, "Fellow villagers, this is the great holy lord. It was His Eminence who bestowed the divine elixir yesterday, saving the lives of every soul in our village." Having said that, he turned and knelt before me. The villagers all followed suit. "Thank you, Holy Lord, for saving our lives. Everyone please rise. There is no need for such formality." Lita stood up. He shouted to the villagers again, "My fellow kinsmen, today is a day of great celebration for Yunshi village. Bring out the best of everything you have. We shall host a grand feast to welcome the immortal." The villagers responded in unison. They hurried back to their homes to prepare. A short while later, the open space at the village entrance was filled with tables. They were laden with the village's finest wine and food. After enjoying the banquet and the warm local hospitality, I stood up, preparing to depart. Seeing this, Lida hurriedly pulled Chen Shan forward. "Immortal One, please stay your steps. After discussing with the villagers, we wish to pool our resources to build a manor in the village. We humbly invite you to reside here." "Why are you so insistent on having me stay in the village? Tell me your true thoughts." The immortal sees all. Though these are prosperous times, plagues frequently haunt this Jingqiao prefecture. Within a 10-mile radius, several villages have already become ghost towns. This humble one begs the immortal to protect Yunshi village and grant peace to this land. While I quite enjoy the simple and harmonious atmosphere, the most important rule of playing an immortal is to maintain the mystery. I can't just be seen hanging around others all the time. That would totally ruin my aura. I gave a faint smile. One who seeks the way must contemplate nature. I do not often linger in the mortal realm. However, I shall establish a grotto heaven within these mountains, and reside there for a long time. Should you face any troubles, you may ascend the mountain to seek me. Hearing this, Lida and Chenshan beamed with joy. They nodded repeatedly in humble agreement. By the way, Immortal One, those celestial pills, they must be incredibly precious, right? Celestial pills are indeed rare. They require many precious spirit herbs to refine. Currently, I do not have any ready-made ones on hand. Thought, using pills to cure them would make them remember my name. But if I manifest transcendent power directly before the villagers, it will likely leave an eternal impression. Thinking of this, I continued, though I lack the pills at this moment, I can still use my divine power to heal them directly. Gather all those from the nearby villages who are afflicted by the plague. I shall return at this time tomorrow to heal them. As I spoke, my figure flickered, soaring toward the mountain peaks. Li Da and the villagers shouted in unison. We respectfully see off the Holy Lord. After I departed, everyone began discussing how to bring the plague victims over. An elder named Old Man Shi said, "Beard, I heard your father-in-law's village is also hit by the plague." "So I have heard. I was planning to go check on them, but I did not expect our own village to be infected too. This time I will go personally to bring them here. Indeed, if it were not for the immortal protecting our Yunshi village, we would have likely met a grim fate." Another elder, seeing Li the remaining silent, asked, "Old Li, what is on your mind?" "I am thinking about how we can repay the Holy Lord for saving our lives. He saved every soul in this village, yet we have nothing of value to show our gratitude." That is true. An immortal does not consume the food of mortals. Our worldly possessions likely won't catch his eye. Li Da pondered for a moment, a spark of inspiration flashing in his eyes. "I have got it. Men of the world all crave fame and merit. And even the gods and temples love golden statues and incense. Even if the Holy Lord does not care for such things, if we can spread his divine name far and wide, he will surely be pleased to hear of it. Hearing this, the elders all nodded in praise. Old Li makes a fine point. Let us proceed with that. Immediately, Li De drew several portraits of the Holy Lord, telling those going to other villages to take them along and spread the Holy Lord's name. Early the next morning, Yunshi village dispatched several men to various nearby villages to bring the sick back. Chen Shan took his daughter to his father-in-law's Jojia village. However, they were stunned the moment they entered the village. The place was a total mess. Many houses had been burned down to their skeletons. Grandpa and Grandma, they will be okay, right? Just then, a villager from Jojia village hurried past. Chen Shan immediately stepped forward to stop him. Brother, why are all these houses burned down? What about Old Man Zhou's family? You must be Old Man Zhou's son-in-law. Sai, the plague is ravaging the village terribly. The village chief decreed that anyone infected must be driven to the ruined temple outside the village to fend for themselves. Fearing the houses still held the plague, they burned them all. Upon hearing this, Chen Shan's face paled. He grabbed Xiao He and ran toward the ruined temple outside the village. Arrived at the dilapidated temple, Chen Shan pushed open the door. A blast of decaying odor hit him in the face. Over a dozen people were lying on the ground. Each one had a deathly pale face. Their breathing was faint and weak. At a glance, Chen Shan spotted his parents-in-law, Old Man Zhou and his wife. He let out a loud shout and rushed toward them quickly. Chen Shan, why are you here? Go away, quickly. We have contracted the plague. Don't let us bring you down too. But when they noticed Xiao He behind him, their expressions changed drastically. It is one thing to risk your own life, but why would you bring Xiao He here? Please do not worry. Xiao He won't be infected. We have an immortal protecting us. The plague cannot harm us. Has Chen Shan gone mad? The other villagers shook their heads in disbelief upon hearing this. Old Zhou, has your son-in-law lost his mind? What? Since when was the plague so easy to cure? Just then, the sound of footsteps came from a distance. The villager Chen Shan had stopped earlier returned with a group of people. Leading them was the chief of Jojia village. Chen Shan, what are you doing in our village? Don't you dare bring that sickness to us. Chen Shan gave a cold sneer. Your own people caught the plague, and you just drive them to a ruined temple to die. Let me tell you, our Yunshi village is under an immortal's protection. The plague has already been cured there. I am here to take my father and mother-in-law to be healed. Seeing his absolute confidence, the village chief frowned. He recalled the mysterious light that appeared on the mountain the other night. He had wanted to investigate it back then, but Jojia village was more than a dozen miles away from that mountain. Yunshi village, however, sat right at the foot of it. Could it be that an immortal truly descended? Seeing that the crowd was still skeptical, Chen Shan quickly pulled out a portrait. Look. This is the immortal who saved our Yunshi village, Holy Lord Lin Chu. His divine power is boundless. A mere plague is nothing to him. Who knows if you just found a random person to draw? Besides, how could an immortal be so easily summoned? The surrounding villagers chimed in one after another. Exactly. Stop talking nonsense here. Otherwise, do not blame us for getting rough. Seeing the situation turning chaotic, Xiao He suddenly stepped forward. Please stop arguing, everyone. Yunshi village really does have an immortal. The Holy Lord is merciful. He wants those infected with the plague to go to Yunshi village. He will use his divine power to heal them. Grandpa village chief, even if you do not believe in immortals, wouldn't it be better for your village if my father took these sick people away? Wouldn't that be a win-win for you? Hearing this, the village chief's brow furrowed in thought. True. Keeping these people in the village is indeed a major liability. With that thought, his tone softened a bit. Chen Shan, since even your daughter says so, I will trust you this once. And just like that, Chen Shan led away the many villagers who had contracted the plague. On the way back to Yunshi village, looking at the grand procession, the chief of Jogya village thought to himself, this won't do. I must follow them and see for myself. If Yunshi village truly has an immortal, I cannot afford to miss such a divine opportunity. Half an hour later, Li Da and the villagers were waiting at the village entrance. Seeing Chen Shan return, he rushed forward to meet him. Chen Shan, nothing went wrong on the road, I hope. All is well. We have successfully brought everyone back. Now, it all depends on the Holy Lord. Li Da nodded. He walked up to Old Man Zhou and said, Old Brother Zhou, you have had a long and tiring journey. Once the people from the other villages return, we shall begin the ceremony to invite the Holy Lord to descend. Another hour passed. After the villagers from other areas returned with their people, Lida led the crowd to the open clearing. The Holy Lord is infinitely merciful and is willing to heal our afflicted brothers and sisters. Now, let us humbly request the Holy Lord to descend. As his voice trailed off, the villagers of Yunshi village knelt down in unison. Seeing this, the people from other villages either followed suit and knelt, or stood their ground, their faces filled with skepticism. Meanwhile, the chief of Jojia village was hiding behind the crowd, secretly observing the situation. At the same time, I was actually taking a nap on the mountain. Suddenly, an alarm woke me up. Crap, I almost forgot I had to heal the villagers today. I quickly fixed myself up and flew into the air. I saw the villagers kneeling all over the clearing at the village entrance. They are actually worshipping me. Talk about being extra. I could not help but chuckle. Old Lida sure knows how to set the mood. Well, since the villagers are so serious about this, I can't let them down. At that moment, Lida noticed a dark shadow fast approaching from the horizon. He knew the Holy Lord had arrived. He immediately took a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs, "We humbly welcome the Holy Lord's descent." Following his shout, a crisp ring of a sword suddenly echoed from the sky. Everyone looked up, only to see a magnificent sword descending from the heavens. It pierced straight into the ground. Then a figure slowly drifted down from the sky. The villagers of Yunshi village bowed excitedly. "Greetings, Holy Lord." The people from other villages were too stunned for words. The chief of Jojia village's eyes nearly popped out. So there really is an immortal. There is no need for such formality. I have come today, specifically to heal those afflicted by the plague. Holy Lord, these are the sick from the neighboring villages. We beg of you to save them. I nodded. With a slight wave of my hand, the divine power of the horse talisman was instantly released. The pale, sickly complexions of the patients turned healthy and rosy at a speed visible to the naked eye. My head. It does not hurt anymore. I can breathe again. An immortal. The immortal has truly shown his spirit. As the last glimmer of light faded, the cured villagers all knelt and kowtowed. We thank the Holy Lord for saving our lives. Everyone, arise. There is no need for such formalities. At that moment, Lida stepped forward. He spoke in a low voice. Great Holy Lord, yesterday, we villagers discussed it among ourselves, and we wish to build a temple to worship you. However, before that, I have a matter for which I must beg your forgiveness. Oh, what is it? Great Holy Lord, I took it upon myself to paint your portrait, and had the villagers take it to nearby villages, to spread word of your benevolence. Please forgive my presumption. Hearing this, my heart stirred. This fits my plans perfectly. Spreading my reputation would be a huge boost to my agenda, but on the surface, I remained indifferent. It matters not. You did this so more people would know the plague can be cured. To save people from peril is a noble cause. I do not blame you. Hearing this, Lida immediately breathed a sigh of relief. But just then, the chief of Zhou family village suddenly squeezed his way forward. Great Holy Lord, our Zhou family village also wishes to worship you. We are also willing to build a temple for you. Old Zhou, what are you doing here? The chief of Zhou family village smiled sheepishly. I was worried about my villagers following Chen Shan here, so I secretly followed along. Lida did not say much more, but he felt a bit displeased in his heart. After all, regarding the spreading of the Holy Lord's name, he wanted to keep the first mover advantage for himself. I acknowledge your devotion, but the temple need not be overly extravagant. If you insist on doing so, I shall not stop you. But remember, do not burden the people or waste their resources. Rest assured, Holy Lord, we will never add to the commoners' burdens. Correct. Our Zhou family village will also act only within our means. I nodded slightly and opened the system panel. Host Lin Chu. Abilities, horse talisman, chicken talisman. Progress to next talisman, 86%. Seeing this, I thought to myself, once the other villagers return to their homes and spread today's news, the unlock progress should be just about complete. The question is, which talisman should I pick next? The next day arrived. In a quiet corner of Yunshi village, a strange youth suddenly appeared. It was me, using the monkey talisman to transform. That is right. After my reputation points maxed out last night, the third charm I chose was the monkey talisman. It can not only turn people and objects into animals, but even allow me to transform into anyone else entirely. As I wandered around, I soon came across an ordinary brick house. A wooden plaque hanging at the door read, Yunshi Village School. Lida was standing inside, explaining the 1,000-character classic to the children. Witnessing this, I sighed in admiration. Lida truly is a man of vision. No wonder he holds such prestige in the village. During the break, once the children had all gone out to play, I walked up to Lida and asked with a smile, Village Chief Li, why do you teach these children to read and write? Is it so they can take the imperial examinations later? Indeed it is. I came came from the neighboring village yesterday, and saw you teaching here. I was a bit curious, and Lida nodded. He did not seem to dwell on my identity. When I was young, the entire village chipped in to fund my studies. Now that everyone trusts me, and has elected me as the village chief, I must naturally repay Yunshi village. As he spoke, he let out a long sigh. As for the imperial examinations, that path is not an easy one to walk. Though the dynasty is currently in its golden age, the imperial court is a complex web of politics. Even if one passes the exams, there is no guarantee they can truly serve the people. Besides, being literate and educated is a valuable skill in itself. If they can earn money through this in the future, it is far better than tilling the fields for a lifetime. Hearing this, my respect for Lida grew even more. He really is a man of great foresight. Once the children had finished school and headed home, Lida invited me to his home as a guest. However, the moment we stepped inside, he suddenly turned around and dropped to his knees. This humble old man, Lida, pays his respects to the Holy Lord. I was stunned. My cover was blown that quickly. That should not be right. Village Chief Li, what is the meaning of this? I am but an ordinary young man. Where does this Holy Lord talk come from? Holy Lord, there is no need for you to hide it. Though your appearance right now is no different from an ordinary villager. The way you speak, the look in your eyes, and that aura of yours are all far from being those of a common man. At first, I guessed you were someone who heard of Yunshi village's events and came here seeking immortals, but it has only been 2 or 3 days since the Holy Lord descended. The plague in Jingqiao Prefecture has yet to subside, so villagers rarely travel outside. News could not possibly have spread this fast. Then it occurred to me. In legends, immortals have the divine power of 1,000 transformations, and so I guessed your true identity. Seeing that I did not deny it, Lida continued to ask, Great Holy Lord, is there a specific reason for your descent from the mountain this time? Since I would been seen through, there was no point in pretending anymore. The divine energy of the monkey talisman surged. I transformed back into my original form. I am merely here to observe the lives of mortals. As I spoke, a sudden thought struck me. Since I am already here, why not ask Lida if he knows how to get some gold? So, I turned the stray cat I had picked up earlier into a pixio. I pulled it out and said, I also need to find some snacks for my mount. It loves to eat gold and silver, but since gold and silver are mortal currency, it would be improper to have you all provide it as an offering. The great Holy Lord's divine powers are truly vast. Today has truly been an eye-opener. Saying this, Lida scratched his head. If you do not mind, this old man has a suggestion. I nodded. Speak. There is a band of bandits in the nearby mountains, led by one known as the One-Eyed Wolf. They have been entrenched there for years, plundering a vast amount of gold and silver treasures. If the great Holy Lord is willing to take action and eliminate them, you would be ridding the people of a great evil, while also obtaining gold and silver for your mount. Would that not be killing 2 birds with 1 stone? If they are so rampant, why has not the government wiped them out? Lida let out a sigh. The Holy Lord might not be aware. These bandits actually have ties with the magistrate. He takes a cut of every cent they plunder. On the surface, the government claims they are out to eradicate banditry, but in reality it is all just for show. Hearing this, I could not help but frown. In that case, lead the way for me. A short while later, we arrived at a village near the bandits' mountain stronghold. The village was in a state of utter ruin. When the villagers saw outsiders entering, they scrambled to hide inside their homes. Seeing this, Lida stopped the donkey cart and said, This village is too close to the bandits' den. They have suffered the most at their hands. The villagers are terrified the moment they hear hoofbeats, fearing the bandits have returned to pillage again. Then why do not these villagers flee elsewhere to make a living? Holy Lord, you may not realize. But where could they possibly run to? After a moment of silence, a surge of anger welled up within me. Never before had I felt the darkness and injustice of this era so acutely. Just then, the sound of low sobbing suddenly drifted over. I saw a man huddling in a corner, his face stained with tears. I walked over and asked softly, My good man, why are you so grief-stricken? You look like a high official sent by the court on a secret inspection. Why do you ask? A flicker of hope flashed in the man's eyes. Sir, you have an extraordinary aura. One can tell at a glance you are no ordinary person. I beg you, please save us. I am no high official from the court, merely a passerby. But if you seek vengeance, I can help you. The man dithered for a moment, and the light in his eyes dimmed. So you are not one after all. Of course I want revenge, but those bandits are numerous and powerful, and I am but one man. Seeing him like this, I did not say anything more. I turned to Lida and said, Let us go. Seeing the 2 of us leave, the villagers crowded around the man and asked, Shilong, who are they? What do they want? They said they could help me get revenge. Then why have not you caught up with them yet? This is a golden opportunity. Don't be a fool. What if they are accomplices of the bandits? Wouldn't Wouldn't that be walking straight into a trap? Hearing this, Shi Yong became even more conflicted, but at the thought of his wife and child's final moments, a spark of sheer determination ignited in his eyes. I can't just let it go like this. Even if it means my death, I will have my revenge for them. With that, he spun around abruptly and chased after the direction we had gone. I will go with you. I want to avenge my wife and child with my own hands. Then follow us. Seeing this, Lida stepped forward and said solemnly, Young man, the one before you is the Holy Lord himself. He is a true immortal, descended to the mortal realm to deliver the people from their suffering. Upon hearing this, Shi Yong's heart, which had been hanging by a thread, finally shattered. Great, I have run into a bunch of con artists. Seeing him in such a state, I did not say much. I simply gave a casual wave of my hand. A soft glow enveloped the man. Shi Yong felt a surge of warmth throughout his body. His festering wounds healed in an instant. How is this even possible? My injuries are completely gone. Do you believe me now? Shi Yong fell to his knees with a thud. Holy Lord, I beg you, help me take my revenge. Rise. I shall allow you to exact vengeance with your own hands. The three of them continued their journey. Before long, they arrived at the gates of the bandits' mountain fortress. The fortress gates were tightly shut. The walls were lined with bandits wielding bows and arrows. Their leader, One-Eyed Wolf, sized up the three of them. He let out a mocking laugh. Were you kicked in the head by a donkey? How dare you come here to seek your deaths? Lida's face turned livid with rage. You heartless beasts. Today is your judgment day. Meanwhile, I just gave a cold sneer. Go. Avenge your family with your own hands. Saying that, I reached out my hand. The divine power of the monkey and horse talismans condensed into a sphere of light in my palm. Then I thrust it into Shi Yong's body. His body immediately began to twist and transform, accompanied by a deafening tiger's roar. A massive, terrifying tiger suddenly appeared before everyone. Shi Yong looked down at his tiger claws. His heart was filled with excitement and thrill. This is power. This is the power of revenge. At the same time, I transformed a wild cat into a pixio. Let us have some fun tonight. I turned the cat into a pixio. Let the hunt begin. I sent it to assist Shi Yong. Go. Enjoy the hunt. Shi Yong charged into the crowd of bandits. With every swing of his sharp claws, blood splattered everywhere. The bandits swung their swords at him, but the regenerative power of the horse talisman kept him completely unharmed. The pixio leaped and soared through the air. The bandits' arrows struck its body, making a metallic, clanging sound. They could not hurt it in the slightest. Monsters. One-Eyed Wolf forced himself to stay calm. He brandished his greatsword. Don't be afraid. It is just a beast. Kill them. However, before he could finish his sentence, the pixio pounced on him. It sent him flying with a vicious strike. When the bandits saw their chief fall, they dropped their weapons one after another. They knelt, begging for mercy. Spare us. We won't do it again. However, Shi Yong and the pixio did not stop. Agonized screams soon echoed throughout the fortress. Other bandits, seeing no way to retreat, drew their bows and fired at Lida and me. Brothers, if we kill that sorcerer, we will be saved. Looking at the incoming arrows, I did not even blink. What a joke. If I got hit while having the chicken talisman, I might as well go drown myself in a bowl of soup. As I raised my hand, the arrows froze in mid-air, as if stopped by an invisible force. Fire again. I do not believe he can block them all. But in the next second, Shi Yong had already pounced in front of the crowd, sending them flying one by one. After all the bandits were dealt with, the divine power of the talisman within Shi Yong's body was finally exhausted. He reverted to his human form, knelt before me, and began to sob uncontrollably. Holy Lord, thank you for avenging me. Rise. To me, this was but a trivial matter. Afterward, the three of us began to search the mountain fortress. Eventually, in an underground chamber, we found the kidnapped women and treasures piled high like mountains. Please, we beg of you, spare us. Lida sighed at the sight. These beasts truly deserve to die 1,000 deaths. Do not be afraid, everyone. This is the Holy Lord. He is a true immortal descended from the heavens, here to save you. I gave a slight smile, releasing the divine power of the horse talisman to envelop the women. This immortal magic. I nodded, simultaneously using the chicken talisman to snap the iron chains on them. You are safe now. The bandits have been eliminated by us. Hearing these words, the women knelt on the ground one after another, weeping with relief. Many thanks, Immortal. Thank you, Immortal. Rise now, you are free. As I spoke, I turned to look at the mountains of treasure. How much blood and tears of innocent people stain these riches? I sighed to myself, and divided the treasure into 3 portions. I gave 1 portion to the women. This is what you are rightfully owed. Take it back and live your lives well. Another portion was given to Shi Yong. Take these back with you, and distribute them to the villagers. They have suffered from these bandits for years. This is their compensation. Shi Yong took the treasure, his eyes filled with gratitude. Holy Lord, I shall never forget your great kindness for all my lives. As for what remains, I waved my hand and threw it into the portal. After settling everything, I turned to the crowd and said, "We shall part ways here. Return to your homes, and be careful on the road." On the way back to Yunshi village, Lida could not help but remark, "Holy Lord, eliminating these pests for the people today was truly a satisfying deed. These bandits are but small fry. The real menace is still lurking behind the scenes." "You mean the magistrate, correct? In a few days, I will deal with him in due time." I pondered silently as I spoke. Since I possess such power, why not do something for all living beings under heaven? The common people are suffering greatly. They need someone to stand up for them. However, gunpowder weapons have already been invented in this era. While I am more than a match for ordinary people, the Tang Dynasty army is no pushover. If I face heavy cavalry or a volley from siege crossbows, even the horse talisman might not hold out. Thinking of this, the system panel appeared before my eyes. Host Lin Chu. Abilities: horse, chicken, and monkey talismans. Progress toward acquiring the next talisman, 56%. Still short by over 4,000 reputation points. I gazed at the grayed out icon of the dog talisman. Once I obtain immortality, I can finally go all out without any restraints. When that time comes, I won't give a damn about the government or the army. Anyone who dares to stand in my way will be crushed to pieces. Having made up my mind, I spoke to Lida. I wish to save all living beings under heaven. However, immortals cannot meddle in mortal affairs at will, lest it violate the heavenly Tao. If you are willing, I want you to establish the Holy Lord sect. Spread my name far and wide. If the mortals place their faith in me and pray for my salvation, then I will merely be answering the will of the people, which accords with the laws of nature. Upon hearing this, a flicker of excitement flashed in Lida's eyes. "Great Holy Lord, I shall certainly devote my heart and soul to this task." I gave a slight nod. Furthermore, I usually reside in the mountains, making communication with Yunshi village inconvenient. In a few days, I shall descend from the peak to bestow upon you a treasure that allows communication across 1,000 miles. The following morning, I arrived at Yunshi village with a pile of supplies. These are 2 types of seeds brought down from the immortal realm. They are drought-resistant and disease-free, with yields far exceeding what you currently plant. There are also farming tools, medicinal herbs, and I paused for a moment. I pulled out a walkie-talkie. This is the treasure I spoke of the other day. It is called the sound-transmitting treasure box. It can transmit voices over 1,000 miles. There are 12 in total. They will allow the villages to exchange information and facilitate coordination. Simply press here, and you may speak with me. Hearing a real voice coming from the treasure, Lido was utterly shocked. He carefully tucked the walkie-talkie away. "Great Holy Lord, your benevolence will never be forgotten by Yunshi village for all eternity. No need for such formalities. Distribute them quickly, and teach the villagers how to use them." Lida complied solemnly, then spoke again. "In a few days, an auspicious hour will arrive. At that time, I shall gather people from the surrounding dozen villages to hold the groundbreaking ceremony for the Holy Lord Temple. I wish to take this opportunity to officially announce the establishment of the Holy Lord sect." I nodded. "Do as you see fit. I have other matters to attend to. I am heading out." Watching the direction in which I disappeared, Lida's fingers unconsciously tightened. He had spent years adrift in the world of politics. He once sought to forge a path of survival for the common people, but in the end, he could only watch helplessly as corrupt officials ran rampant through the countryside. Powerless to do anything, he was eventually forced to resign and return home, guarding only this tiny corner of the world called Yunshi village. But now, the opportunity has finally come. Inside the city of Jingqiao Prefecture, in the main hall of the magistrate's office, Chief Guard Zhang Jin walked in and said respectfully, "Your subordinate, Zhang Jin, pays his respects to your honor." Magistrate Zhang gave a slight nod. "Head Constable Zhang, a plague has been spreading rampantly these days. I am deeply concerned for the safety of the people. Take your men and investigate the situation in the surrounding villages." "This subordinate obeys your command. I will certainly do my utmost to clarify the state of the epidemic." Magistrate Zhang nodded slightly. He then picked up a letter and an invitation from the desk. "Furthermore, this was entrusted to me by that high-ranking official. On your way, stop by Yunshi village. Deliver this to Lida." "Understood, magistrate. I shall ensure the letter is delivered." "Very well. Go and prepare yourself. Depart tomorrow at dawn." Zhang Jin bowed once more. Then he withdrew from the magistrate's manor. After stepping out of the manor, his brow furrowed slightly. There was no signature on this envelope, but its heavy texture and exquisite seal. Clearly, it was not something a commoner could possess. Zhang Jin thought to himself, I never expected Lida to be connected to such a prominent figure. What exactly is written in this letter? Why did the magistrate treat it with such gravity? Returning to the yamen, Zhang Jin gathered several of his subordinates. He briefed them on the details of the mission. Upon hearing they were to investigate villages ravaged by the plague, the men all showed expressions of discontent. Brother Zhang, this is no laughing matter. If we catch the disease, we are as good as dead. He is right. Why should we take such a risk? Why does not the magistrate go himself? Zhang Jin waved his hand helplessly. This is an order from the magistrate himself. Who dares to defy it? Say no more. Get ready. We depart tomorrow morning. Constables Wang Da and Wang saw his firm stance. They did not dare say anything more. They could only leave dejectedly. Just as they walked out of the yamen, Wang whispered to Wang Da, "Big brother, the magistrate is throwing us into the fire. That old fox. I bet he is doing this on purpose." While they were talking, someone suddenly blocked their path. It was the magistrate's advisor, Mr. Liu. Brothers, I heard everything you just said. Wang Da and Wang expressions changed instantly. They hurriedly explained, "Advisor Liu, we were just venting a little frustration. We meant nothing by it." Advisor Liu waved his hand. "It is no matter. I understand how you feel. The plague is indeed dangerous. The magistrate only sent you out of necessity." He paused as he spoke. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. "However, this time, the mission is not as simple as investigating a plague." Advisor Liu, "What do you mean?" "The magistrate wants Lida dead. As for Zhang Jin, he won't be spared either." Hearing this, the two were utterly shocked. How can this be? We have heard of the grudge between Lida and the magistrate. But why brother Zhang? Who else told him to be so close to Lida on a daily basis? His Excellency the magistrate has his eyes on you too. He specifically assigned this matter to you. As he spoke, Master Liu took out a token. He handed it to Wang Da. "You two will follow Zhang Jin to Yunxi village. See if that Lida is dead or not. If he is dead, then find a way to get rid of Zhang Jin on the road. If he is still alive, go to Hefeng Mountain and find One-Eyed Wolf. Tell him to bring his men and wipe out Yunxi village. Once the job is done, 1,000 taels of silver, a mansion, and several beautiful women for each of you, and Zhang Jin's position will be yours." The two men looked at each other. They said in unison, "Deal." Early the next morning, the constables followed Zhang Jin and headed out of the city. Along the way, they passed through many villages. The sights they saw were horrifying. Zhang Jin frowned deeply. Holding a map, he marked an X over one location. It signified that this village had been completely wiped out. The group continued on their journey. Meanwhile, Wang Da and his brother Wang stuck close to Zhang Jin's side. They wanted to pry some inside information from him. Lida has been retired from his official post for many years. The magistrate has always left him alone, never making a move. But now, he suddenly wants to eliminate him. There must be some secret behind this. Brother Zhang, besides investigating the plague, are there any other arrangements for this mission? Zhang Jin hesitated for a moment, but in the end, he spoke. "Actually, there is another task. His Excellency the magistrate wants us to stop by Yunxi village. We are to deliver a letter and an invitation to Lida." Wang Da's heart skipped a beat. So there really is a secret. But on the surface, he remained calm. "Lida, I have heard of him. Hasn't he been retired for many years? Why would the magistrate suddenly want to send him a letter? A certain big shot recently arrived in Jingshao Prefecture. It is said he has some connection to Lida. This was his request." Hearing this, the two brothers exchanged a look. They never expected a big shot to be involved. "Big brother, we might have to reconsider our previous plan. We can't act rashly on this." Wang Da thought for a moment. His brow furrowed. "A big shot. We can't afford to offend him. But can we afford to offend the magistrate? He gave us a direct order. If we fail, we won't make it out alive either. So, we cannot abandon this mission." Seeing his older brother's firm attitude, Wang did not say anything more. The group continued forward. After walking for some time, they were surprised to find a large crowd gathered ahead. There was the sound of gongs and drums. It was an unusually lively scene. The men were shocked by the sight. They began to discuss it amongst themselves. "I have not heard about any temple fairs or festivals recently, with so many people gathered together. Do not tell me they are planning a rebellion." At that moment, Wang Da looked at Zhang Jin. He asked, "Brother Zhang, should we go back and report to the magistrate? Let us assess the situation first. You few disguise yourselves as commoners. Go and scout for some information." Upon hearing this, the men quickly changed their clothes. They blended into the bustling crowd. They soon discovered the reason for the commotion. Today is the day construction begins on the Holy Lord Temple. To thank the Holy Lord for curing the plague, the villagers specifically chose an auspicious day. They are ready to break ground for the temple. The constables reported everything they gathered one by one. After listening, Zhang Jin's brows furrowed deeply. The Holy Lord, curing plagues and building temples. This sounds exactly like the playbook of those wicked cults. This won't do. We must hurry and stop them, lest the common people be deceived. Zhang Jin immediately led his men into the crowd. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Constables of Jingzhou Prefecture are here. Nobody move." The sound of gongs and drums stopped abruptly. The scene fell silent in an instant. Zhang Jin scanned the crowd. When he saw the elder presiding over the ceremony, he froze in his tracks, for that person was none other than Li De. Li De, seeing Zhang Jin, laughed heartily instead. "Long time no see. Why such a grand entrance today? Are you here to show your support? Mr. Li, what on earth are you doing? Are you engaged in some heretical activity? Or are you planning a rebellion? Constable Zhang, you misunderstand. Everyone is building this temple voluntarily to thank the Holy Lord for curing the plague. It is a spontaneous gesture from the heart." Zhang Jin looked around at the surroundings. He found the villagers had ruddy complexions and were full of energy. They showed no signs of the sickness that follows a plague. Could it be this so-called Holy Lord truly has a way to cure the plague? Brother Li, since you put it that way, we shall wait and see for now. However, if there is any illegal behavior here, we will not sit idly by. Li De nodded his head. Rest assured, everything we do is open and transparent. Having said that, he turned and waved his hand to the villagers. Fellow villagers, the auspicious hour has arrived. Light the firecrackers. Start the construction. Upon hearing this, everyone immediately went to work. They began digging the foundation with great enthusiasm, hauling bricks and stones. On the other side, at the edge of the crowd, Wang Da quietly stuffed a token into Wang Er's robe. "Little brother, wait a moment. Find an excuse to leave. Go find One-Eyed Wolf. Tell him to bring his men and wipe out Yunshi village." "Understood. I am going now." Meanwhile, in the distance, Li De turned to Zhang Jin and said, "The two of us have not met for a long time. Why not take your brothers to Yunshi village to rest for the night?" Zhang Jin looked up at the sky. He saw the sun was already setting in the west. It would be impossible to make it back to the county before dark. So he agreed. He also intended to investigate further. Who exactly is this Holy Lord? And is the story about curing the plague actually true? Later, on the road to Yunshi village, Zhang Jin pulled a letter and an invitation from his robe. "By the way, Mr. Li, I have another matter to attend to. Magistrate Zhang asked me to deliver this to you." Li De took the letter. He saw the words "for my dear brother" written on the envelope. His expression flickered for a moment. A complex emotion flashed in his eyes. After a moment of silence, Li De did not open the letter. Instead, he let out a soft sigh. He tucked the letter into his robes. "Mr. Li, are not you going to read it? It is not urgent. I will read it when I have the time." After returning to the village, Li De prepared a banquet. He hosted Zhang Jin and his constables. After 3 rounds of wine, Zhang Jin took the opportunity to ask, "Mr. Li, if there truly is a cure for the plague, why not report it to the imperial court? This would be a great service, benefiting all under heaven. This cure cannot be explained by ordinary medicine. Constable Zhang, have you ever seen someone heal a dying patient in a single hour? Have you ever seen a bowl of blessed water instantly break a high fever? It is unheard of. Therefore, this is not medicine. It is a miracle." Zhang Jin's heart trembled. He wanted to refute it, but then he recalled what he saw upon entering the village. Those villagers, who should have been emaciated and tormented by the plague, were now all full of vigor. This was absolutely not something ordinary means could achieve. After the banquet ended, Li De arranged lodging for the constables. He returned home alone. He sat at his desk and slowly opened the letter. Lines of slightly cursive yet elegant script came into view. Li De's gaze traced the words on the paper. His thoughts seemed to drift back several decades. The letter was from a man named Pei Ji. In their youth, Li De and Pei Ji had been fellow students. The two hit it off immediately, like old friends. They often discussed the affairs of the world in the academy. Back then, they had made a vow together that once they achieved success and fame, they would meet again in Jingzhou Prefecture to reminisce about their younger days. However, the world is unpredictable. Li De returned to Yunshi village for certain reasons, while Pei Ji rose through the ranks, becoming a high-ranking minister in the imperial court. Although the two often corresponded by letter, they never saw each other again. But now Pei Ji wrote in his letter, "The great Tang dynasty, though seemingly prosperous, is in fact rife with undercurrents. I once submitted a memorial to His Majesty, speaking frankly of the court's shortcomings. I spoke of the ills of the state and the corruption within. I advised him on the matters of state, but in return, I was met with repeated alienation. Now my heart has turned to ash. I have requested retirement from His Majesty to return to my hometown. I only wish to find a sliver of peace in this chaotic world. Brother De, I have not seen you in many years, and I miss you dearly. Upon my return to Jingzhou, I am hosting a birthday banquet. I sincerely invite you to join me for a gathering. Li De sighed. He gazed at the green mountains in the distance. So be it, so be it. I shall go and see him one more time. Meanwhile, on the other side, Wang Er was spurring his horse, rushing towards One-Eyed Wolf's lair. But by the time he arrived, he was utterly stunned by the sight before him. The once magnificent mountain stronghold was now nothing but a pile of smoldering ruins. The bodies of numerous bandits lay scattered everywhere, in total disarray. How is this even possible? One-Eyed Wolf's stronghold actually wiped out. There were hundreds of men up there. Wang Er felt a creeping sense of dread. He decided to scout the surrounding area for information. Soon he reached the village where Shi Yong was staying. He walked through the village, glancing around suspiciously. The official medallion hanging from his waist glinted sharply in the sunlight. Seeing a man dressed in a constable's uniform, the villagers all showed expressions of fear and awe. However, Shi Yong recognized that medallion at a single glance. It was a token belonging to One-Eyed Wolf's gang. He recalled the words the Holy Lord had once spoken. The magistrate is the mastermind behind One-Eyed Wolf. This constable must be one of the magistrate's lackeys. Shi Yong sneered inwardly, yet he forced a warm, welcoming smile onto his face. Greetings, great officer. You have traveled a long way. You must be exhausted. Why not come to my humble home and rest for a while? Wang Er, eager to gather intelligence, saw how hospitable the man was, and gave a nod of approval. Then I shall trouble you. Upon arriving at Shi Yong's house, Shi Yong motioned for Wang Er to take a seat. Great officer, please wait just a moment. I will go prepare a fine meal for you. No need for such trouble. I am just here to ask about a few things. Do you know who destroyed One-Eyed Wolf's stronghold? A flash of coldness flickered in Shi Yong's eyes, yet the smile remained fixed on his face. Well, about that, we are not quite sure ourselves. However, a few days ago, a group of people did pass through our village. I heard they were heading up the mountain. After that, the stronghold ended up in that state. Wang Er frowned deeply, his suspicion growing stronger. What kind of people were they? What is their background? I am afraid I do not know that, sir. Since you are already here, why not eat first? You can continue your inquiries after the meal. Seeing he could get nothing more out of him, Wang Er nodded. Very well. Shi Yong turned to leave, and whispered urgently to the villagers. Listen up, everyone. This constable is one of the magistrate's dogs. We are going to give him a good scare in a moment. You few, hurry to Yunshi village and inform the Holy Lord. Tell him the magistrate's man has arrived. The villagers nodded, and set off quickly toward Yunshi village. Meanwhile, Wang Er quietly slipped outside, intending to scout the premises. But just as he reached the backyard, he overheard several villagers discussing something in low voices. I want his legs for the stew. I will take the heart and liver to roast. Hearing this, Wang Er turned pale with fright. Could this be a village of cannibals? They are planning to eat me. The more he thought, the more terrified he became. He fled the village in a frantic rush. The stronghold is destroyed. This mission is a total disaster. Should I go straight to Yunshi village to report to my big brother, or return to the yamen to tell the magistrate? No, that won't do, Big Brother said. The magistrate hates nothing more than incompetence. Recalling Advisor Lu's cold, sinister gaze, Wang Er broke into a cold shiver. I would better report back to Big Brother first. At the very least, I have to return the token. Meanwhile, Wang Da stood under the large tree at the village entrance. He kept glancing warily outside the village. Why is not that kid Wang Er back yet? Could something have gone wrong? Just as he was getting anxious, a bailiff came running over, panting. Brother Wang De, Constable Zhang says it is important. He wants everyone to gather in the old forest outside the village. Wang Da nodded. He followed the bailiff to a secluded part of the woods. Seeing that everyone had arrived, Zhang Jin slowly began to speak. I have investigated thoroughly. These villagers indeed have scars left from a cured plague. I am afraid the cure for the plague is real. Moreover, I just secretly went to the Holy Lord's temple. I found a group of villagers who have formed a self-organized protection squad. They work in shifts, day and night. They are strictly preventing outsiders from sabotaging the temple's construction. Their devotion is palpable. They do not seem like ordinary believers at all. As he spoke, his brow furrowed. I suspect someone is using the plague cure as a pretext to win the hearts of the people and gather a following to plot a rebellion. The bailiff's faces instantly changed. Brother Zhang, then what should we do? Zhang Jin pointed to a distant mountain peak. That mountain originally had no name. Now the villagers all call it Shenyang Mountain. They say it is the place where the Holy Lord descended. Tonight, we will go up the mountain and find out the truth. Hearing this, a glint flashed in Wang Da's eyes. He thought to himself that this was a good opportunity to get rid of Zhang Jin. The terrain on the mountain is complex. If an accident were to happen, he could blame Zhang Jin's death on that so-called Holy Lord. Not long after Zhang Jin left with the bailiffs, several villagers hurried to Yunxi village. They were the people from Shi Yong's village. Village Chief Li, a bailiff came to our village today asking questions. He asked who wiped out One-Eyed Wolf and his gang of bandits. Lida's expression changed dramatically. He realized that the bailiff, who had left during the construction of the Holy Lord's temple, was a spy planted by the magistrate. At that moment, Chen Shan also came running, out of breath. Village Chief, I just saw Constable Zhang and his men heading towards Shenyang Mountain. This is bad. Lida stomped his foot. They must have listened to the villagers and are going to find the Holy Lord. Thinking that the Holy Lord might be disturbed, he hastily took out the sound-transmitting treasure box. He pressed the button on top and said respectfully, "This humble one, Lida, requests an audience." "What is it, Holy Lord?" "A few officers have gone up the mountain. This humble one knows them. I beg the Holy Lord's forgiveness. Please do not harm them." "Understood. I will be mindful." On the other side, inside the cave on Shenyang Mountain, a cold smile formed on my lips. The officers are coming up the mountain. In that case, I will give them a proper welcome. At this moment, on the mountain path, Zhang Jin was leading 3 bailiffs, moving stealthily. Wang Da followed at the very back. His hand never left the dagger at his waist. "Brother Zhang, it is just the few of us. Isn't this a bit too risky?" a bailiff asked in a low voice. "It is precisely because there are few of us. This way, we won't be easily discovered. Remember, our goal is to scout their strength, not to engage in a head-on fight." As he spoke, Zhang Jin suddenly stopped in his tracks. "Stay alert, everyone. There is light up ahead." Wang Da squinted his eyes to look. Sure enough, several glows were flickering halfway up the mountain. At this moment, Zhang Jin had his back turned to him. It was the perfect opportunity to strike, but just as Wang Da raised his dagger to stab, a loud roar suddenly echoed from the distance. It startled Wang Da so much that his wrist trembled, only managing to tear a corner of Zhang Jin's robe. What was goo noise? Zhang Jin whipped around instantly. His gaze swept over the hand Wang Da had not yet managed to pull back. Cold sweat broke out on Wang Da's forehead. Just as he was about to make an excuse, a blaze of torches suddenly lit up from the direction of Yunxi village. Chen Shan's coarse voice could be heard shouting faintly, "They have headed towards Shenyang Mountain." Damn it. Zhang Jin could not bother with Wang Da's suspicious behavior anymore. He barked an order to the other guards. "Quickly, head up the mountain. We must see the Holy Lord before the villagers intercept us." Just as the men finally managed to lose the pursuing villagers, before they could even catch their breath, a thunderous boom suddenly erupted around them. A massive figure appeared abruptly under the moonlight. Good heavens, what kind of monster is this? Zhang Jin's heart pounded wildly. It had to be a demon. The beast before them was certainly not of this world. Could there truly be evil spirits here? Just then, the Pixio suddenly charged forward, sending the guard at the very back flying with a single blow. Seeing this, Zhang Jin hurriedly led the others to flee. "There is a cave over there. Get inside, quick." As soon as they rushed into the cave, a loud crash resounded behind them. The Pixio's head slammed violently against the cave entrance. In that critical moment of life and death, whoosh, the cave interior suddenly lit up brightly. Startled, everyone looked up. Dozens of glowing orbs were embedded in the ceiling. Even more spine-chilling was, the cave walls were covered in countless animal sculptures. Coiling giant serpents, fierce tigers bearing their fangs and claws, and scorpions poised to strike. At that moment, the Pixio had managed to squeeze half its body inside. Roaring in pure rage, cold sweat dripped from Zhang Jin's forehead. He pulled out a short firearm. Bang! A flash of fire erupted, and the lead pellet hit the Pixio's right eye with precision. It let out a piteous howl, retreating several steps. It did not dare to approach again. It was afraid. The guards cheered in excitement, just as they breathed a sigh of relief. Clamorous voices were heard outside the cave again. Li Da had caught up with a large group of villagers. "Captain Zhang, you people!" Before he could finish his sentence, a strain of solemn music resonated within the cave. The melody was like 10,000 horses galloping, carrying an indescribable sense of overwhelming pressure. Zhang Jin's throat went dry. A ridiculous thought surfaced in his mind. Why does this feel like I am about to face a final boss? Everyone looked up in unison. A figure was seen slowly descending, landing upon the Pixio's back. The wounded monster was now as docile as a kitten. I gently stroked the Pixio's eyes. The wounds healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Guests from afar. "I wonder what brings you here in the dead of night." Zhang Jin's heart pounded with shock. An immortal. Do immortals truly exist in this world? He opened his mouth wide. Just as he was about to speak, Li Da stepped in front of him first. "Holy Lord. This is Head Constable Zhang Jin from the Jingqiao Prefecture. He is an old friend of mine. They did not mean to intrude on this trip. I beg for your mercy. I am Zhang Jin, head constable of Jingqiao Prefecture. I was ordered by the magistrate to investigate the plague. For offending the Holy Lord, I seek your forgiveness. You say you came to investigate the plague. Yet why did you trespass into my abode in the middle of the night? Zhang Jin quickly dropped to one knee. In response to the Holy Lord, I saw the villagers gathering to build a temple, and heard talk of a holy lord. Fearing a cult was deceiving the people, I came up the mountain to investigate. A cult? Does the head constable take me for a cult leader? I frowned. Speak up then. Why did you conclude that I am a cult? Curing the plague is a noble deed, but gathering crowds to build temples, and the fanatical devotion of the villagers, exactly matches the records of cult activities in history books. As a constable of the imperial court, I had no choice but to investigate. The cave fell into a dead silence. Everyone looked tensely at the Holy Lord. However, I let out a light chuckle. No matter. You are merely upholding the law. Where is the sin in that? Zhang Jin visibly breathed a sigh of relief, but then remembered something. Holy Lord, one of our brothers was injured by the holy beast halfway up the mountain. I fear he. Are you speaking of him? Lida clapped his hands. Two villagers carried an unconscious constable into the cave. With a single thought, the divine power of the horse talisman turned into a beam of light, striking his body. The sound of cracking ribs echoed, as they mended themselves automatically. When the divine light faded, he snapped his eyes open. Where am I? Old Wang, how do you feel? Zhang Jin rushed forward to help his subordinate up. His eyes filled with absolute shock. As a martial artist, he knew all too well that such an injury would require 6 months of bed rest. Yet now, he was healed in an instant. This was far beyond the realm of medical science. Just then, Lida stepped forward. Holy Lord, a villager from Shiyang's village just reported that a constable named Wang took a medallion to find the bandit, One-Eyed Wolf. What? Zhang Jin turned sharply to look at Wang Da. Wang Da, what did your brother go back for? Wang Da's face turned pale as he struggled to stay calm. Village Chief Li must have the wrong person. My brother. He only went back because of an urgent matter. Since there is doubt, why not see it for yourself? As I spoke, I raised my hand. A drone slowly descended. This is my divine artifact for reconnaissance. It possesses the power to record and replay the past. Before my voice even faded, the drone emitted a beam of light, projecting the scene of Wang Da attempting to assassinate Zhang Jin on the mountain. Zhang Jin was instantly struck as if by a bolt from the blue. You! How dare you! Brother Zhang! I was forced into this. The magistrate and Master Lu threatened us. They said if we did not get rid of you, and Village Chief Li, they would take our lives. Zhang Jin's face turned ashen. He grabbed Wang Da by the collar. He demanded, what else did the magistrate order you to do? The magistrate said that if Li did not die, he would have us find One-Eyed Wolf to massacre Yunshi village. He also promised a reward of 1,000 taels of silver upon completion. An uproar erupted within the cave. The constables were both shocked and furious. They all cursed the magistrate for his utter lack of conscience. Meanwhile, Zhang Jin grabbed Li's shoulder. Mr. Li, quickly, lead the villagers and evacuate. One-Eyed Wolf's gang has several hundred bandits. Every single one of them is ruthless and cruel. Li let out a hearty laugh. Constable Zhang, there is something you do not know. A few days ago, the Holy Lord and I personally visited One-Eyed Wolf's lair. With a mere wave of his hand, the Holy Lord annihilated their entire force. Zhang Jin gasped in shock, his gaze towards me filled with even greater reverence. Wiping out 300 bandits with a wave of his hand. This was clearly a deity descended to the mortal realm. My gaze shifted to Zhang Jin. How should this man be dealt with as a constable? He colluded with bandits and plotted against his own comrades. According to the law, he should be executed. Zhang Jin's voice was hoarse. A flash of a blade. Wang Da's body slowly crumpled to the ground. Immediately after, Zhang Jin turned to face the other constables. Brothers, the matter of today is of grave importance. Wang Da colluded with the magistrate to harm the common people. Death is too good for him. But if word of this gets out, he scanned the crowd. His eyes were as sharp as daggers. We will say that Wang Da fell to his death while walking on the mountain path. Understood. Don't worry, Constable Zhang. We know what is at stake. It is just that. About the magistrate. That is right, Constable Zhang. If that corrupt official finds out his plan has been exposed, there is no telling what kind of depraved and insane things he might do. That corrupt official colluded with bandits, intending to massacre Yunshi village. I will definitely report this matter to the prefectural governor, Zhang Jin declared sternly. But his gaze drifted towards me, floating in midair. He saw the Holy Lord staring into the void, as if observing something invisible to mortal eyes. Host Lin Chu. Abilities horse, chicken, monkey talismans. Progress to next talisman, 92%. I still have over 700 prestige points left. If I perform a miracle in a densely populated place, like the prefecture capital, that should be enough to seal the deal. With this thought, I lifted my head, and said nonchalantly, Constable Zhang, there is no need for such trouble. I shall personally accompany you to the prefecture yamen. and eliminate that corrupt official. Holy Lord, this is absolutely out of the question. Zhang Jin hurriedly stepped forward. The magistrate deserves to die 1,000 deaths, but he is still a court-appointed official. Though the magistrate deserves to die 1,000 deaths, he is, after all, a court-appointed official. If you kill him rashly, it will surely draw the imperial army to surround and suppress us. Then Constable Zhang, what do you propose we do? I have a plan. In 3 days, a high-ranking official in Jingqiao Prefecture will be celebrating his birthday. At that time, the prefectural governor of Jingqiao will also be in attendance. How about you let me return to the prefecture Yamen first to report? I will say that there is indeed an evil sect causing trouble in Yunxi village, and that we need to dispatch more men to encircle and suppress them. I can secretly gather evidence of the magistrate's collusion with the mountain bandits. Then, on the day of the birthday banquet, I will expose him in front of everyone. Hearing this, Lida's entire body trembled. Could it be Lord Pei? Lord Pei, you know this person. Replying to the Holy Lord, Pei Ji was my classmate and close friend back in the day. Today, he had Head Constable Zhang deliver an invitation to me. He invited me to attend his birthday banquet. I nodded. This is indeed a solid plan. I will give you 3 days. If that magistrate is not dealt with in 3 days, then I shall let the people of this entire prefecture see what true heavenly might looks like. At the same time, inside the Yamen of Jingqiao Prefecture, Wang was kneeling on the ground, reporting in detail what he had seen and heard. One-Eyed Wolf's mountain stronghold was destroyed. Lida gathered a crowd to build a temple. Zhang Jin suspected he had joined an evil sect and become a high-ranking leader. The entire stronghold was destroyed. I am afraid this was not some ordinary bandit infighting. Magistrate Zhang slammed the table in anger. It must have been done with a large amount of gunpowder. To be able to obtain such a quantity of gunpowder, this indeed warrants a thorough investigation. You mentioned earlier that Lida is gathering people to build a temple. Did you get a clear look at which deity is being worshipped in that temple? Well, I did not see it with my own eyes, but I heard those villagers call him something like the Holy Lord. After hearing this, Magistrate Zhang waved his hand. Understood. You may leave. After Wang left, the atmosphere in the study instantly grew heavy. No wonder in the past few days, my carrier pigeons to One-Eyed Wolf have all gone unanswered. Advisor Lu's face was grim. Your Excellency, this matter is quite strange. To be able to wipe out One-Eyed Wolf's 300+ men overnight. This force. I am afraid. Afraid of what? I am an official appointed by the Imperial Court. Do they dare to rebel? I was just worrying that sending One-Eyed Wolf to wipe out Yunxi village might leave behind some incriminating evidence. Now they are gathering crowds, building a temple, and deluding the common folk. What a fine bunch of evil cultists. When the time comes, I will just pin the crime of treason on him. Then, not even Lord Pei will be able to protect him. Within the city walls of Jingqiao Prefecture, the streets were sparsely populated. The few commoners who occasionally walked by were sallow and gaunt. An old man in simple clothes stared at the scene, his brow tightly furrowed. Standing beside him was a young woman. The lands of the Great Tang are plagued by so many disasters and hardships. The common people have no clothes to cover their bodies, and not enough food to fill their stomachs. Yet I am powerless to help. I have truly failed the Imperial Court. Failed the common people of this world. Father, you have already done everything in your power. You need not blame yourself so harshly. Just then, a burst of urgent hoofbeats was heard. Zhang Jin, leading several Yamen runners, hurried over. He recognized Pei Ji at a glance. He quickly clasped his hands in a salute. Lord Pei, what are you doing here? The streets are not very safe. It would be best to return to your residence soon. No matter. Head Constable Zhang looks to be in a great hurry. Is there some urgent matter? Zhang Jin hesitated for a moment. He eventually decided to reveal the events of Yunxi village. My lord, may we speak in private? After entering a private room in the tea house, Zhang Jin tightly closed the doors and windows. He recounted everything he had seen and heard in great detail. Absurd. How could there be immortals in this world? Head Constable Zhang, could you have been deceived by some charlatan's parlor tricks? Zhang Jin gave a bitter smile. Lord Pei, had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would not have dared to believe it either. But that immortal truly cured the plague of the entire village. Furthermore, he paused for a moment, lowering his voice. That immortal claimed he would personally come to the Yamen to execute the magistrate. How dare he? Pei Ji's expression shifted. To kill a magistrate? Why, although I have only recently returned to Jingqiao, I have heard that the Jingqiao magistrate has a reputation for virtue. The commoners all call him a clear-sky upright official. Zhang Jin let out a cold sneer. That is merely a show that corrupt official puts on for outsiders. In the shadows, he has committed countless atrocities against heaven's will. He resells disaster relief grain to line his own pockets, secretly backs bandits to pillage towns and villages, and then hypocritically steps in to offer comfort. Master Li resigned because he knew of that scoundrel's dirty deeds, and was unwilling to be a part of his corruption. He was forced to quit his post and return to his home village, and that corrupt official, fearing Master Li would tell you what he knew, bribed the constables under my command, sending One-Eyed Wolf and 300 bandits, intending to massacre Yunshi village. Fortunately, the Holy Lord wiped out One-Eyed Wolf's stronghold in advance. Peiji remained silent for a long time. Finally, he let out a long sigh. If things are truly as you say, then this magistrate indeed deserves to die. But to arbitrarily kill an official of the imperial court is, after all, a capital crime. Exactly so. I originally intended to secretly gather evidence of the magistrate's crimes, and use the occasion of your birthday banquet in a few days to ask the governor to see justice done. But that immortal insists on taking action himself. Luckily, out of respect for Master Li's friendship with you, he is willing to wait for 3 days. If the magistrate has not been brought to justice before the banquet, the Holy Lord will strike personally. Hearing this, Peiji shook his head. Head Constable Zhang, I am afraid you will be disappointed. Governor Liu has been busy with many affairs recently. He has declined my invitation. Then what should we do? Peiji did not answer. Instead, he asked about Li De. Has Brother De expressed his stance? Master Li has been completely won over by the Holy Lord, and is even willing to serve him to the death. Peiji closed his eyes in deep thought, then opened them after a moment. Head Constable Zhang, go back to the Yamen and report as planned. When the day of the banquet arrives, I shall personally meet this Holy Lord. If he truly can save the people from their suffering, I am willing to lend him a helping hand. Otherwise, even if I must risk my life, I will expose his true face. After bidding farewell to Peiji, Zhang Jin took his constables to meet Magistrate Zheng. Inside the main hall of the Yamen, Zhang Jin gave a report on the situation in the various villages and towns. He then brought up Yunshi village. My subordinates have investigated the anomaly in Yunshi village. The villagers have gathered to build a temple and worship a so-called Holy Lord. Their words and actions are quite fanatical. It is suspected to be the remnants of a heretical sect. Magistrate Zheng narrowed his eyes. His gaze swept over the constables. Constable Head Zhang, you have worked hard. However, I recall you have a man under you named Wang Da. Why is he not present? Zhang Jin's expression remained unchanged. Reporting to your excellency, Wang Da unfortunately fell from a cliff and died during the investigation. Fell from a cliff. Magistrate Zheng slowly rose to his feet. He walked before the group of constables. Did you all see it with your own eyes? A constable named Qian broke out in a cold sweat. I did, your excellency. Reporting to your excellency, I saw it with my own eyes. Brother Wang Da's foot slipped and he just fell. Another constable quickly chimed in. Yes, your excellency. That cliff was bottomless. We searched for half a day. We only found a few pieces of blood-stained cloth. Magistrate Zheng let out a long sigh. A look of sorrow appeared on his face. Constable Wang was loyal and dedicated. To meet such a tragic end, I will certainly provide for his family. Allocate 100 taels of silver as compensation. Go now. Give Constable Wang a proper burial. As for the matter of Yunshi village, I have my own plans. After Zhang Jin and the others left the main hall, Magistrate Zheng's face instantly turned grim. What a fine Zhang Jin. How dare he deceive me? Calm your anger, my lord. In my humble opinion, it is highly likely they were the ones who did away with Wang Da. Magistrate Zheng sneered. Of course I know that. Zhang Jin is planning to rebel. My lord, why do not we just... No rush. Magistrate Zheng raised a hand to stop him. First, find out what exactly happened in Yunshi village. Those few constables under Zhang Jin, especially the one called Qian. He seems to be the most cowardly. Find a way to bring him to me. I will interrogate him personally. In the afternoon, Qian was walking home alone. Suddenly, a voice came from behind him. Constable Qian, a moment. Master Lu, is there something you need from me? Master Lu patted him on the shoulder. Constable Qian, you are young and promising. His lordship thinks very highly of you. He has specifically sent me to invite you for a drink. This, Constable Head Zhang has forbidden us from. His lordship will explain things to Constable Head Zhang. Are you going to disrespect the magistrate himself? Cold sweat dripped from Qian's forehead. He could only nod. I would not dare. I am at Master Lu's disposal. Master Lu smiled with satisfaction. He led Qian through several small alleys. They arrived at a quiet courtyard in the west of the city. The courtyard gate creaked open. Two large men immediately grabbed Qian by the arms. Master Lu, what is this about? Constable Qian, His Excellency wants to see you. He has some questions about Yunshi village. Wait a minute. You would better tell the truth. It will save you a world of pain. Qian was dragged into a dimly lit room. The man has arrived, Magistrate Zheng said with a gentle smile. Constable Qian, tell this official, how exactly did Wang Da die? He fell off a cliff. Slam! Magistrate Zheng suddenly slammed the table. Still dare to lie. The other constables have already told this official everything. Wang Da was killed by Zhang Jin. Now, I am giving you one last chance. Tell the truth. Qian trembled all over. Your Excellency, spare me. I will talk. Brother Wang De was killed by head constable Zhang because he was going to lead the bandits to slaughter everyone in Yunxi village. Magistrate Zheng exchanged a look with advisor Lu. He then continued to question Qian. Why did Zhang Jin kill Wang De? Was it that Li De who incited him? No, it was not Mr. Li. It was the Holy Lord, the Holy Lord. Magistrate Zheng abruptly leaned forward. What Holy Lord? The immortal being worshipped by Yunxi village. He was dressed in flowing white robes and could stand in mid-air. Do you take this official for a 3-year-old child? There are no such things as immortals in this world, but that Holy Lord is truly no mere mortal. He can make rocks float in the air. With a wave of his hand, an entire mountaintop was pulverized, and a terrifying beast was obediently lying at his feet. Advisor Lu scoffed. Your Excellency, this lad has most likely been drugged with some hallucinogen. No. Qian suddenly became agitated. Back then, Wang San was swatted by that beast. His chest was completely caved in. He was on his last breath. He could have died at any moment. But that Holy Lord just pointed a finger and healed him completely. Even One-Eyed Wolf and his gang of bandits were personally annihilated by the Holy Lord. He even said that in 3 days, he will come to the prefecture to kill your Excellency. A dead silence fell over the room. Magistrate Zheng was silent for a moment. Then he suddenly spoke. All right, let him go. Qian felt as if he had received a grand pardon. He scrambled and crawled towards the outside, but he was grabbed by the back of his collar. Hold on. Advisor Lu took out a small bag of silver pieces from his sleeve. He stuffed it into Qian hand. You know what to say and what not to say, right? Qian trembled all over. Clutching the bag of money, he nodded repeatedly. Not until the sound of the courtyard gate closing was heard did Magistrate Zheng sternly ask Advisor Lu. How much of what that boy said do you think is credible? In my humble opinion, that Qian was most likely drugged by Lida and some evil cult. He was spouting utter nonsense. Your Excellency, surely you do not actually believe him. Magistrate Zheng frowned. Qian terrified expression was seared into his mind. That was not an act. You and I both know what kind of man One-Eyed Wolf is. Even if they walked into an ambush, it is impossible that not a single one escaped to report back. Your Excellency means, it is better to be safe than sorry. As he spoke, Magistrate Zheng walked towards the inner chamber. He took out a brass key and tossed it to Advisor Lu. Go to the abandoned brick kiln east of the city. Bring out the armor and firearms. Then, summon Instructor Kong. My lord, that is our trump card, our 300 elite soldiers. What if? Magistrate Zheng sneered. He knew that the magistrate had spent years extorting the common people, and had secretly assembled a private army of 300 men. Their equipment was so fine it even surpassed that of the imperial court's regular army. These soldiers were usually scattered throughout the county town. They would only gather for shady dealings that could not see the light of day. There are no what-ifs. Magistrate Zheng sneered. If there is truly something strange in Yunxi village, then let these ignorant peasants witness what true power looks like. And if not, it is the perfect opportunity to wash Yunxi village in blood and eliminate this problem for good. 2 hours later, inside the abandoned brick kiln east of the city, 300 fully armed cavalrymen stood in neat formation. Instructor Kong knelt on one knee. My lord, the 300 elites have been assembled. Please give your orders. Magistrate Zheng nodded in satisfaction. Yunxi village, regardless of man, woman, old or young, leave no one alive. If you encounter resistance, especially if you see some holy lord in white robes, kill on sight. If you see any strange beasts, use the firearms. As he spoke, Magistrate Zheng took out a carrier pigeon and handed it to Instructor Kong. If anything unexpected truly happens this time, or anything supernatural, retreat immediately. What I want is intelligence, not a pointless sacrifice. If you cannot get away, release the pigeon to send a message at once. As you command. As the sound of horse hooves faded into the distance, Steward Lu asked cautiously, My lord, mobilizing a private army. If the prefectural governor finds out. Magistrate Zheng did not answer. He merely gazed at the rolling mountain peaks in the distance. He wants to kill me in 3 days. Even if he is a true immortal. I would like to see which is faster, his magic, or my lead bullets. Meanwhile, in Yunxi village, Chen Shan suddenly felt a faint tremor from the ground. Something's wrong, he cried out in alarm. He scrambled up the old locust tree at the village entrance. In the distance, he saw a black line rapidly approaching. Cavalry, at least several hundred of them. In front of the village ancestral hall, Chen Shan rushed into the courtyard in a panic. Village chief, this is bad. The soldiers are here. But Lida remained perfectly calm. What is the panic? You are a grown man. Acting like this. What a disgrace. Chen Shan was stunned. Only then did he realize the courtyard was filled with villagers. Yet not a single one was in a panic. What is there to be afraid of? Isn't the Holy Lord here with us? Following Li De's gaze, I had long anticipated the magistrate would send men for a sneak attack. That old fox is naturally suspicious. He would rather kill 1,000 innocents than let a single one go. Chen Shan finally noticed me, leaning against the ancestral hall's door, as if I were watching an interesting play unfold. Therefore, I asked the Holy Lord to stay in our village for a few more days. A cold smile played across Li De's lips. It seems it is time to let certain people know that there is always a bigger fish in the pond. Meanwhile, 300 black armored cavalry approached Yunchi village like a torrential flood. The leading drillmaster Kong pulled the reins tight, raising his hand to signal the entire army to halt. Yunchi village is just ahead, the lieutenant whispered. Drillmaster Kong, the villagers are all gathered at the entrance. They do not seem to fear us at all. Just some charlatans playing God. Drillmaster Kong snorted coldly, slowly drying his long blade. Yunchi village has colluded with demons and intends to rebel. By order of the magistrate, raise the village. However, there was not a single ripple of emotion on my face. It was as if these 300 men were merely a swarm of ants crawling forward. It is him. It is the man in white the magistrate mentioned. The Holy Lord. Lieutenant Zhao Tieju's voice suddenly became parched. Drillmaster Kong spat on the ground. 300 iron cavalry, and you are afraid of one man. Charge. Instantly, the dark mass of cavalry surged toward the village entrance like a tide. At the very moment, they were about to crash into the entrance. I gently raised my right hand. An invisible, immense power suddenly descended. 300 cavalrymen, along with their warhorses, froze instantly, as if they had slammed into an invisible wall. What is going on? Lieutenant Zhao Tieju's face turned ashen. He pulled the reins desperately, only to find the warhorse seemed nailed to the ground, motionless. I can't move. A soldier screamed in terror. Drillmaster Kong's heart pounded wildly as well. He had fought on battlefields for years, but had never encountered such a bizarre situation. Fire arrows. Fire the cannons. Kill him for me. The next second, arrows fell like rain, firearms roared, and thick smoke filled the air. However, when all attacks reached within 30 feet of me, they all eerily suspended in mid-air. As I slightly turned my palm, the light of the chicken talisman flashed in my eyes. Returning these to you. Instantly, all arrows and lead bullets abruptly reversed direction, returning the way they came at an even faster speed. Thwack! The front row of cavalry was instantly riddled with holes. Miserable screams rose and fell everywhere. Monster! This is not even human. A soldier collapsed and screamed, turning around to flee. But I simply gave a light snap of my fingers. The entire ground was overturned. The bodies of horses and riders were torn apart by an invisible force. Drillmaster Kong's eyes bulged wide, feeling the bones in his body making unbearable creaking sounds. Immortal, great immortal, spare my life. I have vital information regarding the magistrate. I slightly raised an eyebrow, descending before Drillmaster Kong. Speak. Drillmaster Kong gasped for air with great difficulty, his voice intermittent and weak. The magistrate. He has someone backing him up. The prefecture. Even the capital city. I narrowed my eyes, slightly loosening my grip on him. Continue. However, in the next instant, the head constable suddenly lashed out. But his move was not an assassination attempt. Instead, with his last ounce of strength, he opened the bird cage on his saddle. Coo! A snow-white carrier pigeon flew out of the cage. A flicker of relief crossed the head constable's eyes. A twisted smile formed on his lips. His lordship will know. Before he could finish, I gently raised my hand. The carrier pigeon, which had just flown less than 30 feet, suddenly froze in mid-air. Was that really necessary? I sighed softly, and dragged those twisted deformed bodies into the writhing pit. A moment later, the ground was restored to its original state, without a single trace of blood left behind. The Holy Lord's power is divine. Li De was the first to fall to his knees, his voice trembling. The villagers, as if waking from a dream, all knelt and kowtowed. Just as I was about to speak, I suddenly raised an eyebrow. The system interface appeared before my eyes. Host Lin Chu. Abilities: Horse Talisman, Chicken Talisman, Monkey Talisman. Progress to next talisman acquisition, 100%. Finally, a slight smile touched my lips as I thought to myself. System: Claim the Dog Talisman. Ding. Congratulations, host, for acquiring the Dog Talisman. Ability: Immortality. Grants the holder eternal youth. Immunity to all fatal harm. The night deepened. Magistrate Zheng was staring intently out the window. Something's wrong. The head constable and his men should have been back by now. Another hour passed. The world outside the window remained deathly silent. 300 men, gone just like that. A tremor entered the magistrate's voice, as if he was realizing some terrifying truth. That Holy Lord. He is real. Even if 300 elite soldiers were ambushed and surrounded by a large army, at least one or two would have escaped to report back. Then what should we do? Advisor Lu's legs went weak and he nearly collapsed. He did say he would come for you in 3 days. Should we flee? The magistrate suddenly laughed. It was a desolate, tragic sound. Flee. Can we, if he can wipe out 300 elite soldiers? Then the entire Jingzhou prefecture is nothing more than a cage to him. After speaking, the magistrate seemed to lose all his strength and slumped to the floor. I extorted the common folk, bleeding them dry. How many families did I ruin? I let bandits run rampant, pillaging and plundering. How many women and children died horribly because of me? To cover up my crimes, how many more innocent people did I kill? No, my retribution has come. The immortal is coming to destroy me. The magistrate's eyes glazed over, as if lost in a memory. Master Lu, did you know, when I was young, I too was a man who cared for the world. 30 years ago, I had just passed the provincial examinations. I was assigned to serve as an official here. When I first took office, I reduced taxes. I even used my own money to build bridges and pave roads. Master Lu stared at him, stunned. He never imagined that this greedy and cruel magistrate once had such a past. But do you know how the common folk repaid me? The magistrate's eyes suddenly snapped open, a flicker of ferocity in them. They cursed me for being a hypocrite. They said I must have ulterior motives. Some even started rumors, claiming I was skimming from the disaster relief funds and lining my own pockets. Even so, I endured it. I still believed the people were just being deceived by troublemakers. But then another year passed. That year, there was a great drought. The entire prefecture had no harvest. I opened the granaries to distribute grain, to aid the victims, but that pack of peasants, not only were they ungrateful, they complained the grain was too little. They complained the congee was too thin. They complained the silver I gave them was not enough. They even gathered a mob, stormed the yamen, and smashed my Guanyin statue. They plundered my property, and they set fire to my residence. I knelt on the ground, begging them to stop, but they just laughed heartily, saying the corrupt official got what he deserved. From that day on, I understood. The common folk are nothing but a bunch of lowly curs. Whoever is kind to them is the one they will bite. Since that is the case, why should I pretend to be an upright official anymore? I might as well be a villain. At least I can live as I please. The magistrate's smile twisted into a ferocious grimace. Since they are unworthy of mercy, then I will show them what true terror is. Master Lu's heart pounded in his chest. He dared not respond. At that moment, the magistrate violently grabbed his shoulders. So what if he is an immortal, since there is no escape? Then I will fight to the death at the upcoming birthday banquet. Go. Bring out all the gunpowder from the Yaman's cellar. Master Lu's face turned pale. My lord, you intend to blow them all up, but Prefect Pei is also there. He is a court-appointed official, so what? A crazed glint flashed in the magistrate's eyes. I am finished anyway. Rather than wait for death, I might as well drag them all down with me. Master Lu, rest assured, I won't let you die, because you must do one last thing for me. Go and release all those plague-ridden wretches quarantined in the south of the city. Then send in our death squads to blend in and spread the news. The Holy Lord can cure the plague, and will descend upon Jingzhou Prefecture to save the people. Tell me, when they hear such news, will they believe it, my lord? Master Lu's eyes widened. He never imagined the magistrate could be so utterly depraved. He wants to kill me, does he not? Fine. I will give him the chance. But I want everyone to watch. Even if he were an immortal, he could not save those who were destined to die. Meanwhile, the gate to Zhang Jin's courtyard was suddenly knocked upon. He opened the door to find it was Wang Er. Brother Zhang. Is he already dead? Zhang Jin did not shy away. I killed him with my own hands. Wang Er trembled all over. He suddenly drew a short blade from his waist. Seeking revenge. Let us take this somewhere else. There are children inside. Unexpectedly, Wang Er dropped to his knees. I am not here for revenge. My brother deserved to die. During the great drought that year, we killed a black-hearted grain merchant who was hoarding food. We distributed the grain to the villagers. We became wanted by the authorities. We fled all the way to Jingzhou Prefecture. It was you who caught us, but you took pity on our plight. Not only did you not turn us in, you even recommended us to become constables. But what did we do? As he spoke, Wang Er slapped himself hard across the face. To save our own skins, we helped that dog of a magistrate with his vile deeds. He deserved to die. Just kill me now. I will have no complaints. Zhang Jin sighed. He helped Wang Er up. Get up. Brother Zhang, the magistrate already knows about you all. He also knows about the Holy Lord. Zhang Jin's pupils contracted. What did you say? I saw Master Lu take Qian Er away on the street earlier. That coward, Qian Er, spilled everything he saw and heard in Yunqi village. After the magistrate heard, he dispatched at least 300 private soldiers to Yunqi village. But not a single one of them has returned. Zhang Jin gasped. 300 men, all wiped out, on a dilapidated street in the eastern part of Jingqiao Prefecture. Peiji stood before a makeshift porridge stall. He watched the commoners whispering amongst themselves. His brow furrowed. "Have you heard? The Holy Lord will descend upon the city tomorrow at noon, riding an auspicious cloud. They say, as long as you pray with a sincere heart, the plague can be driven away. Is that for real? My husband just caught the sickness the day before yesterday. It is absolutely true. My cousin is a carpenter in Yunxi village. He saw the Holy Lord's miracle with his own eyes. With a wave of his hand, he cured the plague for the entire village." Just then, the crowd suddenly stirred. Zhang Jin was seen approaching quickly with several yamen runners. "Disperse! Disperse! If you dare to spread rumors again, you will all be thrown in jail." The commoners scattered like frightened birds. As Zhang Jin turned, he spotted Pei Ji. His expression became complicated. "Lord Pei, today, someone is spreading rumors, saying that the Holy Lord will. Tomorrow. Could it be the magistrate is behind this?" Peiji suddenly paused. A cold glint flashed in Zhang Jin's eyes. "I received word. Not a single one of the 300 private soldiers he sent out last night has returned, and this morning, he suddenly ordered the removal of all plague checkpoints. He even opened the granaries. Something is not right here. Given Magistrate Zhang's nature, he would never have a sudden change of heart, unless he is setting a trap." While the three were talking, an old servant from the Pei Manor came running in haste. "Master, we have a guest at the house. They say the magistrate himself has come to call." Hearing this, Zhang Jin immediately gripped the hilt of his blade. But Peiji raised a hand to stop him. "You go back first. Act as if you never saw us." After Zhang Jin departed, Peiji straightened his robes and cap, returned to the manor. His tone was calm, but his gaze was as sharp as an eagle's. He wanted to see for himself exactly what tricks this desperate mad dog intended to pull. Inside the Pei Manor, Magistrate Zhang was acting completely out of character. He did not put on any official airs. Instead, he sat respectfully in the guest hall like a junior, leisurely sipping his tea. Seeing Peiji enter, he rose at once, his face plastered with a humble smile. "Lord Pei, I hope you can forgive me for this unannounced visit." Peiji sat in the main seat, showing no emotion. "You are too polite, Magistrate Zhang. I wonder what brings you here today. What is the urgent matter?" Sigh. Magistrate Zhang let out a long sigh, his face clouded with worry. "To be honest with you, I have come because of the rumors about the Holy Lord's arrival tomorrow. Right now, the people in the city are in a panic, and the plague seems to be rearing its head again. I am truly at my wit's end. I have come specifically to ask for your guidance, Lord Pei. How should I appease the commoners and stabilize the situation?" He spoke these words with such sincerity, as if he truly were an honest official devoted to the state and the people. Peiji picked up his teacup and gently blew away the steam. "Magistrate Zhang, you are the father and mother official of this district. Such matters should be decided by you. I have long since retired. It has been a long time since I concerned myself with politics." "Lord Pei, you must be joking." Magistrate Zhang smiled. "You are a man of high prestige. A single word from you carries the weight of the world. I have already thought of a countermeasure. At noon tomorrow, I will personally preside over the birthday banquet at your manor. At the same time, I have ordered Head Constable Zhang to maintain order in the city, regardless of whether that sorcerer is real or a fraud. As long as you, Lord Pei, and we officials are present, the people will have a pillar of support. Then those lowlifes won't be able to stir up any trouble." He paused for a moment, his eyes looking deep into Peiji's. "However, when the time comes, we will need you to step forward, to preside over the event with us, so that nothing can go wrong. Lord Pei, you absolutely must be there." These words were called a discussion, but in reality, they were a threat. He wanted to ensure Peiji would be present tomorrow, making him the most vital hostage and sacrifice in his mad plan. "At my own birthday banquet, naturally, I shall be present." Peiji responded indifferently. Having received a satisfying answer, Magistrate Zhang let out a loud laugh, stood up and took his leave, watching his departing figure. Within Peiji's clouded, aged eyes, a flicker of cold, murderous intent flashed by. Meanwhile, inside the Shenyang mountain cave dwelling, Li Do was using the sound-transmitting treasure box to anxiously report the unusual movements in the city one by one. "Holy Lord, that corrupt official has lost his mind. He actually released the sick from the southern quarantine zone. Now, the whole city hears that you will descend at noon tomorrow to save the world. He clearly intends to throw you into the fire. His malice knows no bounds." Hearing this, a cold smile curled on my lips. "Does he not want me to come? Then I shall grant him his wish. But Holy Lord, this poisonous scheme of his is meant to force you to save the unsavable, making you lose face before the people. No matter. I stood up. The newly acquired power surged within my body, bringing an unprecedented level of confidence. A mere ant. Even with all his petty schemes, what can he possibly do to me? Pass down my command. Tell Zhang Jin and your men that tomorrow they only need to maintain order and keep the citizens away from the Pei estate. Leave the rest to me. Possessing the dog talisman, I already have an immortal body. This grand drama, carefully directed by the magistrate, is the perfect stage for me to solidify the name of the Holy Lord once and for all. At noon the following day, in the city of Jingqiao Prefecture, on the square in front of the Pei estate, it was already a sea of people. The patients released from the quarantine zone, and the healthy citizens who believed the rumors were all huddled together, craning their necks in anticipation. The air was thick with a bizarre atmosphere of mingled despair and hope. Inside the Pei estate, the birthday banquet had long since begun, yet the atmosphere was suffocatingly oppressive. Magistrate Zheng sat at the head table, wearing a slight smile, frequently raising his cup, as if he were completely oblivious to the chaos outside. Meanwhile, Pei Ji, Zhang Jin, and the others all looked solemn, their palms sweating. They knew the final moment was fast approaching. The hour has come. Magistrate Zheng set down his wine cup, a manic gleam shimmering in his eyes, toward Advisor Liu, who was hidden in the shadows. He made a subtle gesture. The fuse was about to be lit. At that critical juncture, a brilliant golden light suddenly erupted in the sky. Everyone instinctively looked up. They saw a figure in white, treading upon 7-colored auspicious clouds, slowly descending from the heavens. The crowd in the square instantly broke into earth-shattering shouts, kneeling one after another in fervent worship. It is the Holy Lord. The Holy Lord has manifested. Magistrate Zheng, seeing the scene, did not panic at all. Instead, he burst into a frenzied laugh. You have finally come. Good. Very good. Then let us all, amidst this grand display of fireworks, let us go to hell together. He fiercely waved his hand, issuing the final command. However, the earth-shattering explosion I had imagined never happened. I floated above the Pei residence, and with just a gentle lift of my hand, rumble, the ground shook violently. The entire Pei residence, along with its foundations, was forcefully ripped from the earth by an invisible power, left suspended in mid-air. The thousands of pounds of gunpowder buried underground, along with those death-sworn soldiers holding torches, their mouths agape in shock, were all exposed in broad daylight. The entire city's populace, along with all the guests inside the residence, were all left speechless by this miraculous sight, their souls nearly scared out of their bodies. This is impossible. Magistrate Zheng's smile froze on his face, looking as if he had gone mad. I paid him no mind. My gaze swept over the plague-stricken patients, groaning in pain in the square. The divine power of the horse talisman transformed into a shower of golden light, and rained down magnificently, covering the entire county town. Wherever the rain of light touched, sickness and pain vanished, and wounds healed. The signs of the plague faded at a speed visible to the naked eye. Countless citizens felt the changes in their bodies. First they were stunned, then they erupted into heaven-shaking cheers and sobs. For your sins, you shall be judged. My voice was not loud, yet it clearly reached everyone's ears. Carrying an unquestionable authority, I extended my finger and gently pointed at the barrels of gunpowder suspended in mid-air. They shot into the sky like tamed birds, thousands of meters high, blooming into brilliant, silent fireworks. Magistrate Zheng completely broke down. All his schemes had become a joke in the face of this absolute power. You, what in the world are you? He collapsed to the ground, babbling incoherently. You see the people as ants, and treat life as if it were grass. I slowly descended before him. Then you shall have a taste of what it is like to be an ant yourself. A gleam from the monkey talisman flashed. Before everyone's eyes, Magistrate Zheng's body rapidly twisted and shrank, finally transforming into a filthy sewer rat. In endless terror, it shrieked and scurried into the darkness of the sewers. From that day on, there was no longer a Magistrate Zheng in Jingqiao Prefecture. There was only a living immortal on earth known as the Holy Lord. The faith of the Holy Lord sect, with an unstoppable momentum, began from this remote county town, and quickly spread throughout the entire Great Tang dynasty. Pei Ji and Zhang Jin, having witnessed this perception-shattering event with their own eyes, wholeheartedly became the most steadfast promoters of the Holy Lord sect in the mortal world. And I, standing atop Shenyang Mountain, looked down upon this vast land and its teeming masses. Unlocking immortality was just the beginning. My original goal was simply to earn some prestige and live a good life. But now, seeing the adoration of the masses, seeing the deep-seated decay beneath the facade of this prosperous age, a much grander idea quietly took root in my heart.